Hi, Carol.
Good afternoon, Carol.
Hello. Oh,
There is, yeah, there's, and up here,
I got that one wrong.
oh,
this
that
is
one.
something, this is
Okay.
not one of our things.
Okay.
This is, that's from city council last night. Four, 9. Maybe I don't count. Oh, there we go, now we're okay. Now we're okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's fine. Mr. Smith, we've got the agenda here, and there's just a couple of handouts put together for.
They're over there already.
Oh, you got it, oh, perfect, all right. Good afternoon, and Steve is out, so I will run the meeting as the chairman today, but we do have enough people. The mayor won't be here. We know Stephanie had an appointment, and then I heard from Stratton, but I did not hear from Jean. Well, maybe I did actually. I do apologize for changing the dates. We had the holiday, of course, so then we were scheduled, well, then we had the rodeo mixer, and they were here at 2 o'clock setting up, and then we were threatening some rain, so we had to make some arrangements for what if we do inside, and I knew it was just gonna be too much. And so we came to this Tuesday, and we have a library board meeting at 5, so not knowing if we get done quite in time, unless there are people show up a little early. So that's why I went 3:30, so I apologize. We try not to do that, anyway necessary. So I will call the meeting to order at, what are we at, 3:34? So yeah, your agenda's got a little bit of misinformation on there, that July 11th is already in the system, so. The minutes, you had an opportunity to pick up, or I have them on the big screen too. It'll take just a moment. If you didn't look at those already, the mayor was in, and then I gave you updates, and then we went right into sponsorships, and we were out of here at 5:15. If we can have a motion, if there's any questions or changes we need to make.
So,
Moved by John, is there a second? Second by Carol. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passed, minutes are approved. Thank you. The agenda, in front of you, I just have one item I would like to add, and that is going to be decorating. That I just want to add to that. Otherwise, we'll get right to it. So, anything else we need to add to the agenda for today, Craig? Anything you? No. Okay. Otherwise, we'll have a motion to approve the agenda. Gio makes a motion.
I'll second.
Second by Jordan. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. We approved the agenda. Okay, we'll jump right into our visitor numbers. We run those every week. You know, we are now basically just over halfway. You know, we go about 12 weeks, and we're beginning June 1st, the Memorial Day. So we are continue to add to our growth. We've started out at 3%, 5%, 7%, 10% over last year. That's where it's fluctuating. So we're really between 5 and 10% over 2022. 2021, remember, was a record year here at the Corn Palace, and this week, for example, compared to 2021, actually was 27% down. But overall, for the whole year against 2021, we had like a 25% increase over normal. So we're kind of comparing to 2022, and we're ahead of that just a little bit, which is good. Again, lots of folks going to Yellowstone. We catch them going west. I can't tell you it's anecdotal, but it's a large number. But I don't know, we'll let Craig can report on the concessions and how it compares to our visitor numbers. Decorating, dock is done. We found a jackpot of sourdock over in the James River Valley, just east of town. Jeff had to go out and find it himself, our kids were kind of missing it, because we were down in Hutchinson County and Aurora County looking for it, and we just missed a jackpot load of it, so we had plenty, and that is all on the Corn Palace, and we are done with sourdough. The rye straw is in, I think I reported that last time, it would be in next week, came right after the week of the 4th, and it was shorter than normal, but it's plentiful, so we're not getting as many brooms and flats out of it, but we're gonna have enough straw to cover. So anything that you see bare right now is Jeff's got designed to put straw in, so either flats or brooms. And he feels that we're gonna have enough straw. So that's good. Corn-wise, southern part of the county has got more rain. You don't have to go very far, and there's 8-foot tall corn. So our corn is doing well. We expect it to be, enough to do not only murals, but have extra. So our grower has been told that we want every ear out of the field that we can get. We have things that have been neglected to be able to be fixed, like our little corn hut is looking tough, our display where we literally don't have an ear of green corn to put on there to show people. So we just have to have that, and then we think we can do some things at the gift shop, as a gift shop, out of the concessions by selling some. And Craig's got some ideas on that, so Craig, if you want, when you get going, you can explain that part too. So we think we're doing well. This next week is, of course, supposed to be hotter, but some rain's up. I think we're gonna be okay. So that's really encouraging. Event-wise, the farmer's market, which Craig made the post for, this is a social media post that Amy Gebhardt, Amy works 2 days a week in the box office, and she's been doing all of our social media. So if you're connected to the Corn Palace in any way, you're seeing those things pretty regular. If you remember Gray Marketing, the Romeo company that does the digital marketing, gave us a suggestion that be much more active with our social media posts. So this is farmer's market, and we're still 14 to 16 vendors every Wednesday. In fact, I know we're picking up 2 new ones for tomorrow, maybe even a 3rd. Puppies are gonna be for sale for the first time tomorrow, which I checked, and we can do that. They're home raised, I guess, so I guess it's not a squash or a cucumber, but anyway, and we've had entertainment on the stage. Last week, we had a gentleman showed up with, the Millers are from Mitchell, and they're artists, Native American art. And they had a friend in town who's an artist. Well, yes, it's Lyle, but their friend, his name is Siri Garcia. And he brought a 4x4 canvas, which had an outline of the Corn Palace on it, and kind of a Cornelius-looking creature, if you will, character, kind of looking over the top. Community painting. He brought all the paints, all the brushes, and invited anybody that wanted to grab and paint if they could. So they got a lot of it filled in, and they didn't even get done, but what a great idea. I mean, there was, at times, 3 or 4 people waiting in line, and there was 2 or 3 paintings. My granddaughter happened to be here. She did the lower level stuff, and it was a big hit. So I'm thinking, something we can do during festival, put it in at night and just leave it out and let people, and by the end of festival, maybe we can have a painting done. So that was pretty cool. So there's just a lot we can do with it. I'm very happy that it improved from last year. And we welcome you down. It's 5:30 to 7:30 every Wednesday. And if you know of any groups that would want to be on a stage, we're looking for those kinds of things. So Board and Brush is doing a demo next Wednesday. They build signs, like little craft signs, and they do them at their shop regularly. She's just going to do one here. So
What kind of attendance are we getting at that?
it's hard to, we don't count, but well over 100, during that time that come through. The bicycle, Palace City Peddlers do a ride on Wednesday nights. They start and end here for the most part, so they're here and around. We announce it to the tourists a few times throughout the evening when the video's not going, so they go out and take a look at our market. So, Craig, you've done a couple. We're kind of splitting those. He'll do this week's, 100 plus throughout the evening. But the vendors seem to be pretty pleased.
That is not outside.
Outside, in the plaza. Yep. It's really not a lot of effort on our part once it started, right? Make the announcements, make sure they don't start at 5:30. Obviously make some announcements to invite people in. So, of course, we'll be promoting festival and other goings-ons. as well. So that's been good. Tonight, though, we have a hoop dancer. That's a library program at 6:30. If you want to come downtown, she did a class this morning, if you will, a training on hoop dancing. Majority were kids, but they had a great time. Probably 75 kids out there, and adults. And she's going to actually perform tonight from 6:30 to 7:15. So, and she's been here before, does a really nice job. Something unique, I mentioned it before, this jazz night. It is on Tuesday, but before we meet again, it's going to be on August 1st. It's Tuesday, August 1st. It's the South Dakota Public TV is recording Jazz Night. So if you ever watch that, they have that on once a month. They have it there somewhere. Normally they record the studio in Vermillion, and there's a jazz artist. Well, is it William Flynn, who's a Mitchell High graduate, is the spotlight artist this year. So they're actually bringing their production trailers. So think of the state volleyball. SDPB sets up their production trailer, all their cameras, lights, and do the commercials and the program. Then it'll play live and it'll play back. You know how they kind of narrate during those programs? That's what it's going to be. So we're also going to have the Tritones from Mitchell, and what's the other one? Oh, Swedish band. Swedish Meatballs are going to play beforehand. It's a free event. It started out just as a VIP thing and kind of small, and now they're bringing bleachers in, and we'll have a bar out there, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So that's the first. There'll be a farmer's market on the second, and then the pre-Sturgis party on the third, which we have a big part of too, and that's all in play. I wanted to comment on, we did have some hail damage to our Corn Palace on the west side. Was that last Tuesday morning, early? We had 804 light bulbs broken out on the west side from hail. So when our people arrived, the whole front's got broken glass over it. So the lights on the front, they're an LED light that looks kind of like a finger, and they have a globe over them. 804 globes for sure. About half of those have broke the bulb too. So we have a large number, and we have some spares, but we just ordered 1,000 lights to have some on hand. Just for festival, we'll have all the lights in and working, you know. So working with insurance and that kind of thing, but that was not a good deal at all. Any questions about events, visitor numbers? And I'll move right into festival. Okay, this handout is a draft. It's got some yellow highlights on it. If you want to take a look at that. And we'll get into concerts here. I'm going to talk a little bit more when we go to executive session about sponsorships. We can fill you in a little bit, but taking a long time, obviously, you know, and anytime I had updates, I tried to keep you informed, but we have 2 concerts. Tickets are on sale. Advertising began today. Actually, some of them began, you know, other than social media, but radio began today. You should have heard it on the radio. KXRB kicked in all the radio stations here. And then if you recall the discussion we had with Romeo's contractor, Gray Marketing out of Nashville, that Tim Gray was the gentleman that was on the phone with us, gave us some really good ideas. So we have contracted with them to hit the digital marketing. So the Spotify, the Hulu, what you're going to see on your phone and your tablets and your laptops, that kind of thing. So that is being built right now. So timeline-wise, I looked, our posters, those will go out next week. That's exactly what we did last year. So other than the tickets on sale and the frustration of getting the act signed, our timeline is not bad. We are going to not do the mailer. That was something we talked about last year at Post Festival, that just didn't see the value in that. So that money of printing and sending that mailer out, it went to digital marketing. And then because we have 2 concerts instead of the 4 last year, and we had 4 in 2020 as well. We are only at 2, so we're backing off just a little bit proportionally on the advertising, because the opportunity to sell tickets and make money on concerts is just not quite as much as we've had for concerts. So we are going to hit it full speed and see what we can do. As far as the lineup, this is kind of, this is draft only because we'll be adding some things to this, but this is just kind of get our board good information on what's gonna happen and when. Street closes on Tuesday, the city council approved that last night. So the footprint of the festival is exactly the same as it has been. We have a little say in rides and where they set up. We really would like to put something on the south end by 5th and Main intersection. Gold Star's been a little bit of pushback from that. You know, they have a route of how they like things to play out, but we're gonna do our best to put something down there that will attract people past those vendors. I mentioned before, our vendor list is more extensive than it's ever been. One that you would know is Big Daddy's. He doesn't have his trailer that he uses anymore, so he's gonna have a beverage tent, if you will. So we replaced him with someone with more of a hearty entree type. They do a lot of steak bites and steak sandwiches and things like that. So ice cream truck, we've got several new ones. So we're gonna be packed. Our street will be full. We're gonna have the old iron machinery display again. You know, that was a staple of the fair for years and years and years, then it went away for a while. And with the support of the Twin Rivers Old Iron Festival, you saw them in the parade on Saturday. They'll be here for pre-Sturgis. They're really active getting in front of folks, so they will have a display in front of hand too, as well. So street closes at 8 a.m. All of the stuff will come in, they'll set up on Tuesday. We will open the festival at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. You can see the schedule there. We're going to do the VFW, Legion Bingo Hall upstairs in the Armory. We expect our exhibit. Do they have one of those? Greg, those exhibit?
I didn't get on a packet, no.
Oh,
I just got it in coloring sheets.
oh, okay. Well, we have a exhibit pack, and it's available online. It's real nicely done. Jessica Pickett from Community Services has organized that a little better and made it streamlined, and we expect that to be bigger than last year. So that'll be around the perimeter of the armory. So all of that stuff comes in on Wednesday. We would like to do, it says 5 p.m. festival exhibits due in the armory. So that's the first time I'd like some board help. Some of you helped with last year with that. And Jessica will be there again. I'll send this out so to remind you, and we'll see if we can get, we'd like to have at least 4. If you've got somebody that would like to come along, the more input, the better. It just makes it pretty streamlined. So that's going to be at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. We'll judge the exhibits. Vendors on Midway will open. Gold Star Musical will open right after school. In the plaza, Billy Lurkin will provide our first free show on Wednesday night. Okay, and we'll get into sponsorships, but we are able to announce that the Scoreboard Culver's Plaza stage will be in place again. They've asked to be the sponsor for the stage, which I think is great. Thursday, Midway, and this will expand a little bit, but I wanted you all to know we have a 2.5-hour show with the Guilty Pleasure Orchestra. So they will basically, their whole night will be them outside in the plaza. So we don't have an indoor show on Thursday.
What kind of music?
They're 80s rock. And that is actually a version of the Good Times Band that was here for a long, long time. So that, remember, that was Ben D, Tim Dietz, Dustin Evans. Well, Dustin does his show now. Tim plays in different spots. Ben D has got one of the guitarists from that Good Times Band and others, and that's who that is. And they play all over Sioux Falls and points east in Iowa and southwest Minnesota. So they've got a good sound, but it'll be 80s music, yeah. So it should be a fun band. Again, it's a free show. We'll have a bar out there drawing people down. The council did approve our alcohol open container from 5th to 7th. So we'll keep that in that food area around the plaza, and that allows our neighbors to be part of that, the Mercantile and the Back 40 and the Scoreboard and us. So, but they'll do a nice job on Thursday night. That'll be a good, that's full production. They're bringing light, sounds, everything for that. So Friday is our first show. Again, vendors open for lunch break, really. Gold Star's after school again. You can see the bingo, and you'll notice the bingo stops 8 to 10. When we are ticketing for our shows, we want them to clear out that space. Anybody that wants to go to a show, we ask them to go buy a ticket. And then, of course, then they reopen after the concert starts. But that's why that says then 8 to 10. Well, the face painting, we're gonna have them down here a couple times. Last year, we actually hired them, but he's established enough now that he will simply be a vendor, but on our side. We have to be a little careful where we put him because of competition with Gold Star. So he'll be down in this plaza area with our corn maze. Basically, it's something for the kids to do when mom and dad are watching the show in the plaza. That's kind of the intent there. Okay. Our band, Friday night outside, Carter Kennis and the Smoky Jacks, they're out of Brookings. That's the free show. The concert's Michael Ray. We would like some help from the board scanning tickets. Again, doors open at 6:30. The opener starts at 7:30. Michael Ray will come on about 8:30. The two options we have, and I think are Dylan Marlowe or Brandon, it's supposed to be Jones. I have James instead of Jones. So, sorry, Brandon. And we're going to talk more about that when we go to executive session because it involves contracts. But we have two very good openers. So we want to be able to get that decided tomorrow so that we can edit our posters and things like that. And I have this 10:30, and I have it highlighted in yellow. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Main Street folks have said, you know, that after show doesn't do a lot for us. They're deal with some folks who have been drinking for 3 hours or 4. And I guess I wanted to get your input. I can go either way. Craig and I have talked about this. For us, it's obviously extra work. You know, we can't tear down and do anything until that's done. About stops at 11, but people are sticking around until 11:30. We kind of lock the doors and start to turn the lights on the Corn Palace, and they have no restroom inside, so they have to go away. But it's a Friday night. This band would play. They're probably going to be closer to 5:30, 5:45 to 7, just because it's blasted hot on the stage, depending on the weather. But they would have no issue coming back for the same money and just doing another set. So it would be after Michael Ray and another set on the stage. So I just wanted to get your input. I don't know if you participated in that last year or around. What you think about that?
I liked it, but it was good, nice to have a place to go, I guess, to keep, yeah. Keep people around.
You know, the vendors, the food vendors, we think they do pretty well after a concert. People are coming out, they've got a little bit of, they haven't eaten really at the Corn Palace.
Then you go from boom to boom and you're still in the same space, you don't have to.
I personally really like kicking the doors open. As soon as that last song was played, we had them start up outside and kind of chase people that direction and go wherever. Obviously, they can leave, but, or if they want to finish their beverage and listen to a little bit more music.
So one set would be about an hour.
Yeah, it's probably 10:50, depends, but yeah, probably 10 or 10:15, so 45 minutes at the most is the public plan. And they're done at 11.
If they're gonna do it for no extra cost, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's extra work for you guys.
Yeah, well, it's not extra work, it's simply, we're here later, but
Yeah.
we're here anyway, getting ready for the next day, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're changing things over in the, you know, the seating or whatever the case. So I just wanted to get your input, because I was a little bit surprised that we had business to say, you know, that doesn't really help us. And well, keeping people around Main Street helps our vendors, the food vendors, and it helps our bar a little bit. I would think it would help others too.
Yeah.
So if they're open for business on Friday night till 2, you know,
I think that would be a problem.
and
It doesn't sound like.
you don't see any issue with keeping them on Main Street a little bit longer, maybe.
Well, I mean, we're not necessarily gonna see them ourselves,
Yeah.
but from 5th to 7th, they should.
Yeah.
If you're not grabbing some of that, then it's a serious problem.
Okay.
I'm sure the people are.
No, I wanted to hear from the board, because I honestly thought it was great. I had a ton of fun with it, because it's time for me to kind of got through the show, no issues, you know, and we're just basically,
Yeah, and you're kicking the doors open so people go
Yes. They leave the courthouse, yep, yeah, we make some announcements and they hear, there's nothing going on inside, they move outside and there's some activity. All right, I think we stick with it. Okay? Saturday, that's all pretty normal, except we've added this kids pedal pole. So last year we had music, we had 2 artists in the afternoon. But I really like the idea of the pedal pole, it's gonna draw a large group. We'll have the bouncy house up again, we'll have the face painter there. They'll register 12 to 1, and then the pole goes 1 until about 3:30. And then we would bring a band in to play before the Rock of Ages. So we have Swedish Meatball playing. Same thing, they would leave their equipment set up, and they would play afterwards too. You know, another half an hour, 40 minutes to keep people around just a bit.
Well, that's a band.
That is a band. They-
Y'all giving out free sweet.
Nope,
meatballs.
they are,
I was like,
yeah, I'll put band on there.
I'll be the winner.
So that is actually one of our own, Reed Rankin, and Morgan Benzo plays in that band sometimes. They've been playing the area, and they've got a nice sound. So we can support one of our locals, and they play a little of everything. Yep, the 90s, 80s, great.
2000s,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they play a little of everything, and they have a ton of fun doing it, too. So they'll do an adequate job for us, absolutely. Music in the background, people come to listen, they'll actually draw some local fans down too. So, and quite honestly, if we can squeeze another band in here, 'cause last year I think I probably did too many, because we had 4 shows, and I had 8 different bands on the plaza stage, all said and done. So probably too many for, and we didn't pay a lot of money for them, but we're having to cut back just a little. So we only have free music, but maybe not pack it in. Broadway's Rock of Ages, I want to mention, we have posters. All of that is going out. Our official poster will be printed at the end of the week, so they'll go out Monday, Tuesday. So we'll get those out. It's Broadway's Rock of Ages Band. And that's the term they want to use because they are the Broadway band and singers from the show. It's not a Broadway play, but we have found they're pretty particular that you use that term. That it's Broadway and it's copyrighted. So it's a little bit unique. They've been a little bit slow getting back to us, but I've got approval on our TV ad that we have out, or a video clip, I should say, and the radio stuff that we're doing. So. Anyway, that should be a fun show. I'm kind of comparing a little bit to Hairball, but it will be a higher end musicians and probably singers, but a little bit less bombastic of the lights and the confetti and all of that kind of thing. For one thing, it's our light and sound, where Hairball brings their own, and it's their own people, right, that do that, so they get a little wild with that. But huge variety of music that they play. You hear nothing but good things about them. So I think it's gonna be pretty fun. There's a pub crawl. I know the group's already started at the depot at 5 o'clock, and they're gonna make their way from the depot north for concert time. And they got 250 people on that group alone. So we think.
Start with you and end with you.
Yeah. An after show at Thursdays.
Yeah. Thursday, the better end of
It should be fun. And then Sunday we start at noon on the Midway. Bingo starts at 1, and then we still are filling this. I guess I wanted to get your opinion. Craig's been in touch with a young lady at SDSU, but she's from the Corsica Stickney area, right? I believe, and got a nice sound. And we really like to give those people the stage. We reached out to others, so we've got several others we could bring in, either with Emma or besides her. Because we could move her maybe to a 1 to 3 and then do someone else from 3:30 to 5. Midway ends at 5. It's just whether or not they get much of an attendance. That's a family day. Last year we did the Christian band from Huron, which we had a nice crowd out there listening. It's very appropriate for Sunday. But I don't know what your thoughts are. If we bring in 2, we kind of look at our budget a little bit. I don't think Emma's real expensive. We're paying from $150 to $500 for most of those. The Thursday night shows are more than that, but they're doing a full 3-hour concert. So with light and sound themselves. So anyway, that's our first draft. We'll keep adding to it, I guess is what I wanted to let you know. We want to do, I talked about the kind of having a corn crib. where kids can just literally have tubs of corn to play in, or some little ones to do. We're gonna make that happen this year. I'm not sure how I was gonna use swimming pools, and last year we just couldn't find them, so I might have to borrow and beg some pools. Someone told me the big stock tanks are probably not safe enough for kids. They're metal and they're a little tall, and so, you know, think of it just a big old sandbox playing only corn instead of sand. So that's kind of working on the CHS to see if they would maybe sponsor that. I've actually reached out to several sponsors, and I thought it'd be kind of fun for them to sponsor that. Yeah. Same with the pedal pole too. We're trying to identify an exclusive sponsor for that, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. Okay, that's festival stuff. Again, I'll follow up when it gets closer about, hey, are you available? The scanners work great, obviously, kind of ushering. We'll get some volunteers to work the VIP and the wristbands, and it takes some bodies, so keep that in mind if you're available, and I'll follow up. Any questions about that sheet? I'll take a break and let Craig jump in here.
All right, so I got good news, bad news. June and July concession sales have been down tremendously. The only thing I can contribute it to is our new business maybe across the street taking some of that away. So June, we were down almost 16%, and this month we're down almost 40%.
From same month a year ago?
Yep. So June of last year, and through 17 days in July, we're down about 40%. So, not good. But year-to-date, we're still up almost 9%. So hopefully once we roll back into basketball, that all comes back. But it'll, it's the only thing I can contribute to. Nothing else has really changed. So, like I said, good news, bad news. I don't know if you wanted me to talk about concert tickets?
Yeah, just kind of, so prices and kind of how our seating's working for those, they're pretty simple.
So, yeah, it's pretty simple. Both shows are exactly the same, which makes it nice on our part. We've got the Party Pit VIP area, $35 tickets. With these, they're $39. And then we have general admission and reserve seating as well. So the reserve, we set those at $35 as well. And that's just section A. So general admission is the rest of the floor, and then the soft seats, section B and C. Michael Ray, those tickets were on sale 2.5 weeks longer. Not a lot of sales thus far. So hopefully this advertising, once we get that rolling, it's going to help out. But about double the amount of Michael Ray tickets so far as the Broadway rock pages. So.
It won't surprise me if, you know, it's always stressful worrying about ticket sales, but we're, you know, our new digital marketing, we're going to do everything we can to do that, do it right, you know. We think we got a good plan. So, and historically, Mitchell, we don't sell a ton of tickets early. Even when we sell them at Christmas time for a Christmas present, which I did the first year I was here, we did that. And of course that was COVID, and we tried it the next year. We're talking like 70 tickets. And then they, you know, after June, then they just start kind of falling in, you know, and then when we start hitting, you're not advertising the whole time. But yeah, obviously the radio ads and all those kinds of things will start to help. So obviously, more tickets we sell, the better we do. And of course, it affects the bar too, once you get the people in the door. So we're obviously open to suggestions. Like I said, we're not going to do the mailing, but that money went to the digital, which is, you know, that's kind of the direction we want to go. We'll see how it pays off.
I've seen them on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been all internal stuff so far. So, you know, the great marketing hasn't kicked in yet, but that's why, I mean, are you gonna make it or break it there?
I really thought, well, really, like, it should be to tomorrow, I mean, this week, and end of week at the latest for that, I would think. I mean, they have everything, we've been very responsive, getting, as soon as we got Rocket Age's assets to send to them, they were building stuff, so we'll see, you know. Become highly recommended by Romeo, and I did check, by the way, the local sources for that, the Little Republic, KMIT, Midco, they all do that, but I know, for example, KMIT, they actually have an out-of-state company that builds it. So if it's gonna be out-of-state, we just will go with the group in Romeo, they give us a substantial discount because of their partnership. So that's the route we went with. And we'll see how it goes. I guess that's all we can say about that for now. All right, I'm gonna jump into our last thing, which would be our sponsorships and a little bit of update on the concert openers. There's no questions, and there's no citizen input. Give a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Gio, second by Jeff Smith.